Hey friends, we're back at it again for Table Talk. On a quintessential rainy April day, we continue our journey through the Psalms of Ascent. This week, onward to Psalm 125. So, as is our custom, feel free to grab a Bible and join along with me. Here we go. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. Two words immediately jump off the page, which I want us to focus on today because I think they are timely for us. And those two words are trust and abide. If you remember nothing else from Psalm 125, I want you to tuck those two words in your pocket for today, as well as for the long obedience of discipleship ahead. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. The psalmist shows us first that trust is a personal matter. Trust is not just lofted up as in a slow-pitch softball game. It's directed at a personal being. To trust in the Lord is not merely to develop feelings about trusting. Just speaking for myself, I've found time and again my feelings are not necessarily trustworthy in themselves. There's a great passage in C.S. Lewis's classic, The Screwtape Letters, where the devilish character Screwtape is ensuring that his client will focus purely on his own feelings rather than attending to God himself. This is what Screwtape writes. The simplest way is to turn their gaze away from him and towards themselves. Keep them watching their own minds and trying to produce feelings there by the action of their own wills. When they meant to ask him for charity, let them instead start trying to manufacture charitable feelings for themselves and not notice that this is what they are doing. When they meant to pray for courage, let them really be trying to feel brave. When they say they are praying for forgiveness, let them be trying to feel forgiven. And that's the vital point. The source of trust is not our own feelings, not our own devices or merits, but the source of trust is the Lord himself. As Screwtape later adds in disgust, he, that is the Lord, pours out self-knowledge in a quite shameless fashion. Rather than trying to conjure up feelings of trust, which can seesaw by the hour, the psalmist invites us to place our trust in God and to lift up our eyes to him. And then there's the second word, which is abide. The trust we receive leads to the act of abiding. In other words, we are given the grace to stand up on our own two legs, again from Lewis. He wants us to learn to walk and must therefore take away his hand. And if only the will to walk is really there, he is pleased even with our stumbles. So here I have the image of my niece Louisa, who just turned 1.5 years. She's now learning to walk. I have found it both hilarious and absolutely fascinating to watch little Lou turn from a tiny baby dependent on everyone else for everything to a rational creature with a mind of her own. She's learning to stand on her own two legs, stumbling along, sometimes falling, but all the while mom and dad close by, cheering her on, eager to intervene, though desiring little Lou to develop the capacity to walk. So in closing, do you remember those two words to tuck away for today as well as for the journey ahead? Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth forevermore.